Hi, Chris from Divine Key with your Wednesday workout for August 30th of 2023. So we have a special Wednesday workout today because we are right on the edge of a really special event, which is the full super blue moon of August of 2023, which is occurring, depending on where you are, tomorrow or August 31st. Um, or today. So, depending on where you are in the world, you have to look at that. But what this is the second full moon of the month, which is often called a blue moon. And the next one's going to happen, the next blue moon will happen not until 2023. So, I have a couple notes here. You'll see me glancing down. Um, so, we want to use the power of this blue moon. It's a blue moon, it's a super moon. So, typically, full moons, what I normally use them for is when I journal. I use new moons for intention setting, for creating something new as it builds, and then for full moons, I use it to release the energy, to release something I want to let go of, or that I want to give gratitude for. So, this moon, because of the special nature of it, has different layers that we're going to work with. So there is a layer of releasing, of course, with the full moon, we have that in. But because it's a full super moon, blue moon, we're going to also use it for intention setting. So let's see what some of the things I have written. So generally, a super moon is going to ramp up the energy of a regular moon because it's closer to the earth. So we feel the effects of the moon greater during a supermoon event. And also, if scientifically, it actually increases tides, and the pull of the tides, because of the pull of the moon, is actually greater because it's closer to us. And there's usually only one moon, full moon per month, and we've got the blue moon happening because it's the second one. Um, so, in either case, what you want to do is you want to work with the energy of the moon right now during this time frame. So, there's a layer here for me where blue, the color blue, and because this is called the blue moon, um, blue indicates to me things around truth and communication. So when I work with things that say in my tarot and the color blue is prominent, it means to me that we have to drill down and figure out our truth, and we have to be willing to communicate it, if not to another person but out loud to the universe in some way. So in during this energy of this moon, starting today, and the energy of this moon will you can work with it for like 3 days. And actually, the truth is that you can work with the moon energy until the next full moon. So you do have that full month to work with the energy. It just dissipates as you go through it. So the energy that you work with related to the moon changes, but you still have that access. So you don't have to feel like you missed your opportunity and it's gone forever. You do have the ability to continue to work with that. So give yourself a break and don't worry too much about that. So, but you do, like, it's most powerful within the 3 day framework of when the actual celestial event happens. So from today forward, 3 days. This particular full moon is in Pisces, so it's going to tap into the energy of intuition, of emotions, how we feel. It's going to ask you to get into the flow of things. So keep that in mind as you're working with intention setting and what you want to do with this moon. It's going to resonate with going with the flow and with working with your emotions and working with things that are intuitive or psychic for you. So there is a danger of being a full moon in Pisces that you're going to dive a bit deep. So just be aware as you work through this that things can become very intense, and give yourself a break. Like, take time, step back if you need to, revisit it, but stretch it over a little bit of time if you need to. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to do your workout Wednesday to create magic in relation to this full moon. So, number one, as I said, normally full moons are set, I use for releasing, but in this case, I want you to set an intention. So, really think about it. Something that you really hold in your heart, something that you care deeply about. This is the energy of the Pisces moon coming in here. So, how do you feel? Like, what is it deep in your darkest heart, where you might not even have talked to anybody about it before? This is just for you and the universe. So, something that you really wish to get in motion. Maybe it seems out of reach. Maybe it seems too big of a dream. This is the time to dream big. Pisces are dreamers. So go ahead and think of an intention that you want to set and get moving with this energy of the full moon. Then write it down. So that's the first step. Okay, number one, set an intention and write it down. Become clear on what you really want. And then speak it aloud. Like at the moment of the full moon, like go, if you want, go out into the night, or in where there's the full moon visible, and speak it aloud. It doesn't have to be to anybody. You're speaking to the universe. You're setting that vibration. When we speak, we hear the words because we create a vibration in the air that reaches our eardrums, and they vibrate. So speak it. It's not as efficient to just write it down or to think about it. Each of these things brings it a layer closer to manifesting. So you could call it a ritual. Rituals are things that you do to bring things to the physical world. So if you're of that mind, you can call it that. But it is a process. So you're thinking it, you're writing it down, and then when you speak it, you manifest it into the physical. So number one, do that. Number two, we want to release the burden of carrying that intention. It's not up to us to figure out the how. It's only up to us to desire it. So we want to release this burden, and then here comes the full moon energy of releasing. We want to release this energy of the burden of carrying the weight of how do we do this? How do we figure it out? We don't need to figure it out. We release that to the universe. We release it to a higher power. So step two is we take this intention. If you've written it down, take a small piece of paper, write it on a small piece of paper, and you can burn it safely in a fire-safe container, in a safe environment, with the intention that as the smoke rises and leaves the physical paper, that we are then releasing that out into the universe, and that it can reach all parts of the universe as the smoke drifts away and the particles of it go. We in where I am experience smoke from Canada, which is hundreds of miles away. So when I say releasing it through the smoke, it's like the butterfly effect, they call it. So like it can affect things at a great distance across the whole world. We really don't know as it gets carried on how it's going to be carried along. So release it into the universe. And if you're not comfortable with fire, if you don't want to burn it, then you can shred it up into really tiny pieces of paper and blow them out into the universe. You can just get some fairy dust or some spice that you like, that would resonate with the intention you have, and hold it in your hand and set the intention and blow that out into the wind. But something that carries it out physically into the wind. That's the releasing part. Okay, that was step two, is to release the burden of it. And step three is a warning. Yes, a warning. So with a full super moon, with full moons in general, back in the old days, they would claim that would cause lunacy, Luna, the moon, and people would be acting out of sorts or hyped up, or more energy would be flowing through them, and that's where the word lunacy comes from. So be aware with this full supermoon very close to the earth, that if you do, and it's in Pisces, so if you dive deep, you might feel the urge to escape. It might be just too much. It might be overwhelming emotionally, and you might want to escape through addictions of some type or some kind of over-the-top action. So there is a warning here. Be wary of how deeply you embody the energy of this moon. We want to work with the energy of it, but we don't want to hold it in our body. So that's the purpose of the first two steps, is we're getting it to be out of our body, our physical body, and into our higher self or into the universe. So Workout Wednesday, here we are. The three things that we're doing for the August 2023 super blue moon that's occurring is: one, set an intention, write it down, speak it to the universe, speak it out loud, set the vibration physically. Number two, release the burden of that intention by either burning the intention, the paper, and letting the smoke drift, or holding a spice and setting an intention there, or shredding up the paper really small and blowing it into the wind, but in some way dissipating that energy so that we can release the burden of it and the universe can pick it up and carry it. So we have vibrational energy, and then we have a physical energy that it's also carrying. And number three, be wary of how deep you dive into your emotions during this time. If you start feeling yourself sliding into a deep well, then you want to pull back a little bit and float for a bit and just go with the flow instead of diving deep. So just let it carry you gently along instead of diving deep. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that you have a really great super full moon, and I hope to see you back again next week for Workout Wednesday. This is Chris from Divine Key, spelled QI. Be well, and we'll see you next week.